Welcome back. Oh, I've just realised you can't see that if I move the light over it. Yeah, I've been away for a bit of time, and it's the new year now. It's, well, already 2 months into it, but yeah, I thought I'd make a quick update just because I've got some more things to do today, and we've got a bag of RAM there, only 2 sticks, but we'll get to that. I just thought I'd update you all on exactly what I've been doing and what I've been buying. The first of all here is this HP Stream 7. If you remember back in the Windows 8.1 days when that was new, there were tons of these tablets about, and I've in fact bought one back then, which was a Toshiba Encore Mini, which I still have to this day. But when I saw this one come up for £10, I thought I may as well buy it, just to see if perhaps I'd get one with a 64-bit UEFI. It turns out, unfortunately, not. So even though this does have a 64-bit Intel Atom in it, you can still only install a 32-bit Windows. But nevertheless, it does all right. It's only got 4 cores. It doesn't support virtualization. You can't enable it in the BIOS. And it's got less than a gigabyte of RAM. And the eMMC is always maxed. But you know what? For a tiny little project, for a bit of fun, because believe me, this had a corrupt Windows install on it. It sort of booted an existing Windows 8 install, but crashed out pretty quickly. Reinstalling these is very difficult. There's no sort of cloud recovery or recovery partition on this one, and all you have is a micro USB port, and they don't just naturally boot Windows images. You have to get a specialized one, but what I found worked in the end was I took a Windows 10 LTSC image, the install.wim, and put it onto a Windows 8.1 for Bing boot.wim, and essentially crafted my own little installer. Injected a bunch of drivers inside installer and install.wim, and here we are. We now have a fully functional Windows little tablet, which is lovely. And for £10.50 with only £3 postage, you know what? It's not too bad. There is another thing I purchased as well, and we've got 4 things to go through really. Here we go. Look. This here is a HP blade sensor chassis SB40. So these here are these storage blades. And I'll actually show you that one now because we have it right about here. Here we go. It is a bit bent and damaged, so there's still a bit of work to do with it, but I have tested it with this BL490C here, and it does work lovely. It has a little HP P400 inside it. And the way those work is it's quite literally an empty blade. There's nothing inside this but a PCIe card. And that links up to this front back plane that lets you hold 6 drives. And from there, in the blade sensor management panel, you can sort of assign it left or right. Yeah, that then goes through and it shows up as an option ROM for your blade. And yeah, you get 6 more drives. So, you know, you can put Windows on it, whatever you like. But yeah, I just thought that was something interesting. And for £40, I figured I'd pick it up because usually these things go for a lot more, and obviously I do have the C7000 chassis, so perfect for it. We're going to go to the more modern purchase history now because those were 2021 items, and we need the 2022 items. Yes, so I bought another server. This here is the Lenovo X3650 Model 5. I'm going to be using it as a backup server because right now my storage server is also my backup server. And any of you IT guys will know out there that sticking a bunch of roles on one server is asking for a bonfire. So yeah, I reached up Datatec because I thought the price they were asking for was a little bit absurd. And I said, hey, can I buy it without you know, any RAM or just one processor? And they were like, sure, £160, jobs are good. And I thought it would only come with one processor, but it actually came with 2. And then I just went ahead and spent £67 there on some DDR4 memory. I picked up 32 gigabytes, which is more than enough for a backup server. You know, all it does is it's going to run one virtual machine with a RAID array passed through to it, so I can store my backups. I then picked up some more memory here. As you can see, we've got £45 worth of RAM. This here is 32 gigabytes of PC3-12800R, so 1600 megahertz of DDR3. And today we're going to be installing this into our big boy X3850 X6s. Because right now one of them has 96 gigabytes, the other has 112, and they keep maxing out. So the one that has 96 gigabytes, we're going to bump it up to 128. And I also bought there a little cable for the X3650 Model 5, which is all the way up there. It's actually powered off right now. I have put a 1060 that was sent to me by Rocco, a friend. However, I can't seem to get it to work. It does boot up and everything, but as soon as I install the Windows drivers, Windows has gone kaput. But I'd like to have a go at cloud gaming, but not using GeForce Now or any of that. Let's build my own cloud server for gaming, and not using a grid card or anything. We're going to use a GeForce card if I can get it to work. But yeah, annoyingly though, this did come with only the 8 drive backplane and the SAS expander for this. It's like 200 quid on eBay at the minute, so we can go without that for now. But this will still do fine for backups. I plan to hook it into this. This still needs some drives. It's an IBM StoreWise V7000 or StoreWiz V7000, and they use these huge caddies which sort of push all the way back, and these things are fairly configurable. You can get direct SAS backplanes, which is what I've got, or you can get iSCSI backplanes, which have little management adapters and things on them. But you know, direct SAS to this box is all I really need, and it's exactly how the ML350 PG8 currently works. If you remember, we restored this server back a few videos ago, and that currently has a direct SAS connection to this IBM EXP2500 here. So the EXP2500 is essentially a 12-bay 6 gigabits per second SAS enclosure. And it also supports SATA, of course. And then I have another V7000 there, which currently holds all the backups. So 10 terabytes in that, not really a lot. And they're all 450 gigabyte 10K SAS drives. So they suck a lot of power. But you know what, for the time being, it's fine. As you can see, it does have a warning light on it, which is because of the drives, because they're not HP. But this server's been pretty happy, and I'm quite happy that I bought it and restored it. The only thing is, these MX500s I've bought from Crucial, they are 4K native drives and not 512. So right now, even with 6 of them in RAID, they perform awfully. So awfully that hard drives can outperform them. I did look at getting a replacement RAID card, one that natively supports 4KN, but they are very expensive at the minute, so maybe for a future video. But yeah, for right now they're in 512E, but it means we're putting a lot of wear on them, just unnecessary wear, as far as I'm aware. So I've already killed 2 of them and RMA'd them, but hopefully these ones will last a bit more. But I do think those 2 that I RMA'd were genuinely faulty, because one of them managed to lock up the entire server and the IPMI, which is unheard of. But yeah. Now, I suppose let's move to the real show here. These X3850 X6s, I've had them for a while. I've wanted to show them off for a while, but never really found the time, specifically because these are my main hypervisors, so it's not like I can just go and switch them off. They're always doing things. They each have their own UPS. Say what you will about that, but we got these for free in an e-recycling clear out, which was good fun. And these ones, I believe they're 3 kilowatts or 3000 VA, so something like 2.6 kilowatts. They're in perfect condition, nothing wrong with them. This is amazing what businesses throw out. But yeah, I'm more than happy with them. And as I say, each of these now has their own UPS, so I can get like a good hour and a bit of runtime. Now, you'll notice they both have the error lights on, and that is because I have got the RAM configured incorrectly in both of them. This one here has 7 sticks, this one has 4. That one's a Lenovo, that one's an IBM, even though they look absolutely identical. But yeah, I picked these up a long time ago. I actually wonder, maybe on the HP Stream 7 I can find the eBay listing real quick of how much I paid for them, because I got them for an absolute... Here we go. Job lot of 2 IDM, not IBM, IDM X3850 X6 blade enclosures. There's so many things wrong with this listing. They're not blade enclosures, I can tell you that much. That is a blade enclosure. IDM isn't a company. That's IBM. I think they typoed it, and I believe that's how I got these things so cheap. I'm just going to put this up here in case it shows anything sensitive. Oh, and it can't find them. But yeah, the price I paid was really cheap. They did blah blah blah. They did get a bit damaged. As you can see, they're missing the bezels, which is really annoying because I kind of like it when they have all the fancy bezels with the logos on them and things. And it also means the quick release to pull the storage book out no longer works, but oh well. So, RAM time, I guess. I haven't really researched which slots these are supposed to go into, but if we look here, so processor 1 DIMM 10 is wrong, processor 1 DIMM 16 is wrong, DIMM 1 is wrong, DIMM 19 is wrong, configuration error, CPU population error. I don't think you can really get that wrong. This is a blanking plate. We only have one compute book in, so I'm not sure why we're getting that. How's that gone off it? No, that is all of them. Lovely. So they do actually give you a fair amount of information from this front panel. As you can see, you get the machine type and the serial number, the universal ID, which we don't really... Oh, that's all we get. Okay, I thought there was more in there, but apparently it's the one below. System firmware. One thing you will notice with this display is that it has this horrible sort of like fading effect on it, which isn't present on the IBM one. As you can see, the IBM one is pretty... Okay, the up button on this one's damaged, but it doesn't have that same effect. It doesn't last near as long. But yeah, I'm going to go around the back and get it unplugged, and then we can crack open our compute book and take a look. I mean, if you're wondering what this here is an E7, I believe it's in, yeah, 8850 V2. I was going to have these in originally, but I managed to pick up some 4890 V2s instead. These support the V2 and V3 era of CPUs. However, you can get compute books newer to support V4s. But yeah, it's really strange how these work, and I can see that's why they thought these were blade enclosures, because everything sort of comes out on the front like this in Lenovo's book form factor. Yeah, there's no lid to take off the top. This entire chassis can come out as well. That has the RAID card in it, and a few other bits. Perhaps we'll take a look at that, but it can be a bit fiddly to get back in, so I'm not sure. But yeah, let me stop babbling. Let's go and get the power out of it. I didn't really think this through. It is horribly messy round here. I really need to clean this up, and I think I plan to do that at some point soon. But anyway, you can get a quick nosy around the back here of the ports and things we've got. So we have 4 power supplies. These are 900 watts each. Pretty amazing. And they are different types of power supplies you can get. I believe you can get a 1200 watt that sticks out a little bit more, and you have these little blanking plates there that you pull out when you do that. In terms of other ports though, you've got what looks like a port to plug in your phone, which sounds ridiculous, but I think these are the ones which Lenovo have an app for that you put on your phone. You plug your phone in, and it'll sort of let you diagnose the server and access the IMM, which is quite nice. We then have the IMM port, 4 USBs, of which I have one plugged into our UPS, which is actually not plugged in properly, that one. There we go. We have a serial port, some warning lights for the CMOS battery and the I/O board. Are you doing noises again? And then I have also put in 2 network adapters, so a Mellanox Connect X3 and a quad port Ethernet. So this here provides me with 40 gig back end. I can get it up to 56 gig if I buy newer cards, but Mellanox cards are expensive, so it's a no from me. But yeah, so this whole back chassis can come out as well. There's a little lever here, and there's a lever here, and then 2 more back there for additional cards you can put in, like graphics cards, but you have to buy more back planes, which are very expensive. So yeah, that's really all there is for around here. Oh yeah, you can also hot swap the fans, but no, I'm not too bothered about that. Let's just get our power supplies out, and I will definitely have to clean it up around here, especially if that UPS cable is pulling. All right, having escaped Narnia, we can now get to the fun stuff here with the compute books. I'm going to pop that ISO up a bit so you can see. I didn't realise it was that low. But yeah, these are pretty easy to get out, and we just need to remove think it's the top fan actually here. Yep, that's the one. I'm going to pull that fan out, which you might be thinking, why on earth are you pulling the fan out? There is actually a little quick release button here that we have to push. So the light path is for diagnostics, and then this one here is the quick release. That pulls this lever down. We can push that down a little bit more and then pull, and that there is our compute book. So let's go ahead and pull this guy out. Here we are. Now, where you have the error LEDs, that's where you can push the button around the front, and that will light up which ones it thinks are wrong. So I'm not going to bother with any of that because, quite frankly, I don't think... How many sticks have I installed in here? So let's pop the lid on this. That tells us our installation order. That's for lockstep mode. We kind of want independent mode rather than lockstep, but whatever. So we have one up here, one here, and two there. So 4 in total. So that should be mirrored on the other side, if I've done it correctly. Which I've not. How about that? Well, that's clearly our answer then. There are some slots left open. That is from when I've previously messed with this, because I had the world's hardest time figuring out what memory this used. And it turns out it is DDR3, but it has to be 1600 megahertz or faster. Won't work if you put 1333 in, which is always really handy. It's not like it tells you that you need 1600 megahertz or anything. It just kind of expects that you have it. But yeah, I think I spent weeks trying to figure out why I couldn't get the memory working in them. I thought my compute books that I was buying were faulty, but no, I was just stupid and buying RAM that was too slow. So yeah, we're going to mirror this on the other side, because really a configuration like this isn't great. I'm hoping these are all the same. PC3-12800R seems correct to me. And we have 2 slots free on each side, so that means we will need this slot and that slot, and presumably we'll put one in here and one in here, so it's the same on each side. The sticks I've bought, according to the IMM, are the exact same model as what's already filled in here, all this lovely Micron stuff. And there's not actually a lot of these Micron sticks on eBay. I was expecting there to be more, but there isn't. And I'm wondering if I bought them from the same seller, because these just so happen to also have the same HP sticker on them. RAM U194201, that says, which you can't see because the ISO is too high. Let's budge that down again. Yeah, good enough. Shouldn't really be touching the gold pins, but oh well. PC3-12800R, lovely stuff, and that is 16 gigabytes in one DIMM. So there we go. Let's line that up, pop it in. Lovely stuff, and then grab the other stick and do the exact same over here. It also says the same thing. RAM U194201. Lovely stuff. I don't know if this is going to remove the memory population errors it was giving me, but we'll see. Because originally what I tried to do was to put the RAM out of the old X5s in, so they'd have 108 gigs in each, but that didn't work. So yeah, I did make a video on these, but I've made a few videos, to be fair. I've just not bothered uploading them because I thought they weren't exactly fun, you know. There's nothing to take away from them. I basically just built a mini internet, which sounds fun until you find out it's kind of just getting archived versions of websites, building a cluster, and configuring a mini internet inside it. So yeah, but regardless, let's get this back on. I can never remember which side goes on which way. Presumably this one. Let's try this. There we go, that's that side. It actually has this nice little plastic see-through window. But yeah, so theoretically, yep, the ones that are missing, we've now got DIMMs in. And I wonder if it's going to show anything on this side. There's that light path button. Here it is. So it is. Interesting. Well, perhaps they'll go now that we've corrected that fault. turn the other way. So it does. Lovely stuff. That there is our compute book configured, and you can see here it does actually tell you how to remove the processor. They always tell you to use these weird little installation tools, but I've never bothered with them. See, we have the light path diagnostics there, and that has a little see-through to our serial number sticker. Board error button, processor error button, and light path button. And there is our slots there. Now, I haven't gone with lockstep this time, we're going in kind of independent mode, but I'm not too bothered about that. And there's one thing I could never find on the internet, which I'm more than curious with these, is are they hot swap? Obviously they're blue, so you have to have, you know, I mean, the manual says you have to have this off to remove it, but I always fully remove power. But it just reminds me of these, perhaps the backplane on this is capable of, you know, hot swap. Because you can hot swap the fans, but I suppose the fans use a lot less power. But I don't know, I'm no electrician. One day maybe, when I have loads of money, I can try blowing one of these up and hot plugging one, because it'd be interesting. And side note, these blanking panels, just to fill them up like I've done below here, they're really expensive. So I think I'm just going to 3D print something to, you know, cover it up instead, because I've 3D printed these caddies and the Lenovo police haven't come after me yet. So I'm going to head back round to Narnia, around there, get these plugged in, and hopefully they turn on. Well, that one turns on rather, that one's still running. One short visit to Narnia later, and action is happening. It is on the IBM secure boot. Are you ready to boot yet? Apparently not. Oh, there you go. I think that means we're good to go. This is as loud as the server gets, by the way. I don't know where the menu for this is going to be. That's auto adjust. There we go. Contrast and brightness. Brightness is number 2. There you go. And audio menu. 1 is to exit. There we go. So we can actually see what it says now. Interesting now though that that little 1 and 2 symbol is gone. I wonder if it fell over to its other ROM, because one of these, I don't remember which one it was, kept having an issue where every time I rebooted it, it was doing a secure region update, and I never understood what was causing that. I have a feeling like we might have to leave it a little bit longer. I'll come back when it's done something. There we go. So, a few minutes after I paused the video, it did actually start getting to the loading drivers stage and now appears to be booting. There we go. Let's see what it says. I mean, if it goes straight to boot Windows, then we're all good. Recalibrating system power. Certainly taking its time at this point. You wouldn't have thought there's a lot for it to actually have to do. Still only says 1 error. Ah, there we go. Finally through to Windows. That's also taken a long time to boot, but I think it was running updates earlier, so it might be that it's just finishing those off. Yeah, trusted installer. Good old thing. Well, I guess that sort of sums up this video. We've got our RAM upgrade sorted out. Taking a look at a few other bits, like the X3650 Model 5, the tiny little HP tablet, and a few other random little bits. But yeah, that's all from me. Catch you in the next one. Goodbye.